Hello, everybody, and welcome to not really a major money today. Today, we're going to be talking about TGL, but before we get into that, I do want to mention, since it is Taco Tuesday, there have already been several out. There was a soccer one that cashed. There was an esports one that cashed as well. It was in League of Legends. Unforgiven needed 9 kills. He got 9 kills in the second map after getting 0 in the first. So we're 2 for 2 on tacos today, and there will be more coming out. But I did just $2 instantly. I see that right in the middle. We're losing me. I think I'm back. So, new member offer for Prize Picks. Play $5, get $50 instantly if you use the code 5. It will be at the bottom all show long. But the main thing we're going to be talking about today is TGL, and you can actually use that and bet that on Prize Picks. If you want to go with Ricky Fowler, Tom Kim, you can go singles. You can go with the triples. Holes one, you can play it. Them winning 2 holes, that might be an under. Jupiter's not been that great. Then, to be fair, New York Golf Club has been the worst. And as Ricky Fowler being my favorite golfer, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. But we're going to be talking all about the TGL today. But I did, like I said, just want to mention real quick that Prize Picks, new member offer, play $5, get $50 instantly. There's not too much that I know of to bet right now. There's several squares coming up in later days, but we'll get to those at another time. I just want to talk about TGL today, so that's what we're going to get on to. And let me pull it up here. I have their website pulled up. It's going to help us just kind of go through the basically schedule today. So for TGL, it is going to be Jupiter Lynx versus the New York Golf Club. Obviously, Jupiter they're led by Tiger Woods. But like, that's the big name. But I think TGL fans are going to start loving Tom Kim. They won their last matchup against Rory in Boston, and my gosh, was that amazing. Tom Kim was exceptional. He made the difference for his team. It was incredible to watch, to be honest. He's going to be a star. One, because he's very energetic. He's very vocal. He is very competitive. So he was taunting the crowd, playing with the crowd. I absolutely loved that. Then you obviously Tiger's the big name. Kisner is a good player as well. But I mean, the TGL, we've seen that several times now, that the games really do just come down to who wins their putt and who makes the putts that wins the hole. We've seen that in almost every match. And the teams like New York that aren't making any putts at all, like they're putting like me out there. They're not winning. They're 0-2. They're getting absolutely murdered. This might be a chance to turn it around. You have a little bit of time off. I mean, you can turn it around, but they are so far looking like the worst team in the league. Jupiter, kind of not looking too great. Much better last week. Their first week was not good at all. They got killed, but it is always another chance to turn it around. And like I said, I think Tom Kim's a pretty big difference maker. He was making putts. He was energizing the crowd. But we have a big matchup, and I think not necessarily because of the teams. I mean, anytime Tiger plays, it's going to be big. But I don't know if any of y'all were able to watch yesterday. They had a triple header, and it was incredible. All right, first, you have Justin Thomas chipping in from off the green to send it into overtime. Absolutely wild. It was either make this or lose the match, and he delivered. It was crazy. Then, right into the overtime, Tommy Fleetwood, overtime's closest to the pin, best 2 out of 3. Tommy Fleetwood makes it, which I think should be an automatic win. For sure. Like I think that's the big rule I would change right now is, like, if you're playing closest to the pin for overtime and you have a guy just absolutely make it, that shouldn't just win that one round. That should just end it. Imagine the walk-offs. Imagine the scene after Tommy Fleetwood just drains it. It's super hyped and it ended up being nothing because his team lost 2 of the 3. So he made it. He had by far the best shot in overtime. It did not matter. So I'd love to see if maybe they explore making that a hey, you drain the overtime thing. It's an automatic walk-off winner. That would be incredible. It would be electric. Add a little bit more pressure. And then you had every match either went to overtime or was decided on the last hole. I mean, you had one where they threw out the hammer, and it was either if you give it up, you give up a lead, or if you make it, you keep the lead for one hole. And I mean, they drained that one too. I forget who exactly made that putt. It might have been was it Keegan? Might have been Keegan, but there was just several really good matches. It was what kind of the TGL needed, to be honest. Like, they needed people to have close games. They needed excitement. They needed incredible golf shots. And that's what they got time and time again. And it doesn't hurt when one of the guys playing in being a superstar for you is the guy that just won the Genesis tournament this weekend. You got Oberg over there just absolutely dialed in. I mean, the Bay are a very, very good team. They won both of their matches yesterday. They did beat Justin Thomas, almost sent it to overtime again. Like I said, he had that first chip in for the Atlanta drive. Then in the next match, when he played final hole, he almost made a, was it like 40 footer or whatever, super deep putt that was just so close to going in. It was just overall a great day for the TGL. And I think this is a huge matchup today because you have Tiger, so you're going to get more eyes. Yesterday, a lot of people were able to watch President's Day. A lot more people are tuned in. You got to capitalize. Tiger's really good to capitalize anytime he's playing for anything. Then next, I mean, you just got to have a close match. Like, this can't be a blowout, in my opinion, for the TGL. Best thing for them would obviously be a very close game. But you can see they're going to play 9 holes of triples. Tiger's going to start us out. My favorite golfer of all time is there's like 1A, 1B. They're equal. Tiger Woods and then Ricky Fowler, actually. Both of them I absolutely love. And I hate I have to pick between them, but I said from the start I'm going to be a New York Golf Club guy. I can't jump off even though they've been terrible. So we're going to go with Ricky Fowler. New York Golf Club is going to be my team. I'm going to root for just great golf. But if I have to pick someone to win, it's going to be New York Golf Club because Ricky Fowler's my guy. But they're going to start with flex. It's going to be a par 4. They're going to go to Navigator, then on the rocks, Sidewinder, oh shoot, straight up, Crake on. I really don't know how to say that. Blue Bonnet, and then Pin Oak. And then they actually go to singles. So each team, and then they play as a team, played 9. Each team then plays as individuals. So it doesn't change the scoring. Still, you win the hole, you win a point for your team, but it's 1 golfer per hole. And so we're going to have Tiger Woods matched up against Cameron Young. They're going to play hole 10 and hole 13, which is Sterling and Temple. Then you have Kevin Kisner and Ricky Fowler, the plank and cliffhanger. And then Tom Kim and Matt Fitzpatrick set in stone in boomerang. I think this matchup is, once again, I think New York Golf Club is going to be a little overpowered in my opinion. Like, they're all good golfers, right? Ricky Fowler, very up and down, but he, in terms of golfer, he's a good golfer. He's been playing better recently too. He, should have done a little bit better this in the Genesis tournament, but bounced back with some nice rounds. Cameron Young, good golfer. Matt Fitzpatrick, good golfer. But I think when you look, I think Tom Kim's really going to drive this team. And I don't want to just like overstate everything, but Tom Kim was playing fantastic. Tiger Woods, our condolences go out to him with the passing of his mother, so he did not play in this past week's tournament. I think that is actually going to be like something that can drive this team and rally behind. They all want to do it for Tiger. I think Tiger is going to play fantastic today. I think he just shows up in these type of moments, and I think, um, he's going to want to show out to put lasting memory. I know that's going to be heavy on his heart. It's going to be talked about on the broadcast. I think Tiger's going to show up for that. And then you have Kevin Kisner, who is a obviously very, very solid golfer as well. And so Jupiter, I think they're just better in almost every department, and guys that I trust. They have more star power. They have better players as of late. So I'm going with Jupiter today. I don't know if I've got a single one of these predictions right. I'm no golf expert at all. I'm just a guy that likes watching golf, has fun watching golf, and just want to talk about the TGL because I think it's a great league. I was having a blast yesterday watching all 3 matches. But I'm going to go with Jupiter. That's going to be my official pick. Let's take a look at some of the holes. I like to look at the singles. Let's go with Sterling here. See, and I'm just on TGL's website. We'll just take a look here. Okay, this one is really cool because I like all the bunkers around, and you basically have a landing spot of just that little diamond, and then you hit it onto the green from there. It's pretty cool. If you watched yesterday, I forgot who played it, which match. Like I said, there's 3, and it was like back to back to back. They all kind of run together. But one of them actually hit it into that middle landing zone. But where they hit it through, and I'll go back here, you can notice there's kind of no like lip there at all. So they just flushed one. It was almost better. They had a better second shot than the team they played being in the middle, just dialing it right onto the green. So it's not the worst thing in the world as long as you get some distance on your drive to be in that middle bunker. Now, if you're around the outsides, that could be a different story with that lip. If you watch like the simulator, the lip on the sand shot goes up depending on how it would be in real life. So that can kind of get you into trouble there. So that's something that I think is pretty interesting of how they do try to simulate what it would be like playing that one in real life. But if you get in the middle, it doesn't make as big of a deal because you can place your ball into the sand. It's not like your ball's going to be plugged or anything like that. You're placing your ball into the sand, and then you can hit it out of there. We'll go to Temple here. This one's a cool one. I just love the whole designs on the TGL. It's something you're not ever going to see in real life because you can't, but on a simulator, they can have fun with these. This kind of reminds me of the spear, how in the middle right here, you got to be a little bit worried, and then you can hit it onto the green from there. Even through a simulator, like you see how accurate these guys are, and I'm like, man, I'm never going to remotely do anything close to this in my life. And it's like exciting to watch, but kind of like really just like makes me sad. I'm like, man, I'm never going to be good. Golf is like the hardest sport in the world. I never feel like I'm ever going to get there. This one's cliffhanger. Hit it over. Be sure to make it over. You don't want to lose a ball. Don't want to shank anything. I don't know if y'all saw also, that reminds me of Tommy Fleetwood. The dude was on fire. He was holding another one. He almost had a hole in one, but in practice, he literally did have a hole in one. So dude is playing amazing. This is Boomerang. You can kind of be more aggressive or not as aggressive to get your approach shot even better, even closer. But a lot of these guys, it's not about distance. It's about setting up the distance for the second shot. So sometimes it's worse depending on what type of player you are, how far you hit your irons. It can actually be worse to hit it farther because then you're kind of in between clubs, and no one wants to be in between clubs. Let's go to straight up here. Let's see what this one looks like. I don't always remember all the names for all of them. Okay, this is pretty lots of water. This would be a cool one to see in like real life. It'd be a really hard hole to make. So you hit the landing zone and then you hit your approach shot. And I want you to notice as you were looking over here, we'll go to Sidewinder. A lot of holes have like two different options of what you can go to be more aggressive and have a better approach shot, or take it a little bit, easy, not as risky, and then have a harder approach shot. That comes into play more like towards the end, or if someone thinks they have an advantage on who's driving. Because, when you're down a hole, it's not stroke play. So like if you're down a hole, it doesn't matter if you lose, let's say you're down a hole on the last hole. It doesn't matter if you lose this by 5 shots. Does it matter if you tie it? No. All that matters is if you win or lose the hole. So once you're down and you're trying to play catch up, you can take some more risky routes, which I think is really cool to watch. Like some of these guys, they're taking a more risky route because their team's down a point or two and they just need to try to claw back. We saw that several times yesterday towards the end, when guys were trying to make up their their point deficit, and it was awesome. Like you see these guys like taking more risks than they would normally do in stroke play, because you can't drop a stroke or two. But if you are actually playing match play, which you're familiar with, the Ryder Cup, President's Cup, anything like that, it doesn't matter how much you lose a hole by. So if you're already down, might as well go for like an aggressive shot and see how it goes. But this is where if we go to the recap here, I want to know if we can watch. Oh, no, dang. I'm trying to find the hole down here. This was Wyndham Clark. What kind of mentioned, they were kind of hitting him at the end, and it went down to the final one. Here it is. I'm stupid. It was flipped on what way I thought it was. Kind of went down to the end and had to make one to go. But here's him making the Tommy Fleetwood making a hole-in-one in practice, which was absolutely wild. Drops in. And then you have, wonder if there's a way I can play it here. No, it won't let me play it. But you have, then this is where I was saying he almost hit another hole-in-one. Same hole. Maybe it's better to hit the rock. But on hole 9, let's do whole recap of 9.
All right, so that'll kick in for birdie.
My thing is absolutely going crazy right now. It's not hole 9. It's hole 5. I'm all like turned around right here. I don't know why these being flipped from how I thought they would be is really throwing me off. But here we go. I just want to show the chip in, which was absolutely insane. Here's this first one. I thought it was over there. So he had 2 shots to win the hole and send it to overtime. He chunks the first one, and he's got to go right back. And absolutely as clutch as it can be in any sport, drains it in from outside the green. That was absolutely incredible. But we have the TGL coming up in about 40 minutes. It's at 7. I'm obviously going to be watching. I can't wait to watch it. I wish we had more matches yesterday. Obviously, as you can tell by watching this, I'm no expert. I'm just a guy that just want to talk about golf. Had some time. Think it's a lot of fun. So if you're going to be watching, send me some tweets, send me a DM. I'm going to be tweeting about the TGL, and I hope you are too. So we'll see y'all next time for another little, maybe even TGL show. We'll keep bringing them back and keep doing more about it. But y'all have a good night.